Can this $4 clearance shower curtain liner become a bag? I don't know. Let's find out. I was walking through Marshall's the other day and this popped out at me. It is a black shower curtain liner. It was on clearance for $4. I liked that it had these little kind of dots on it. And I thought to myself, well, that would make a great inside of a bag because swimming season is coming up and we're going to have lots of wet things to carry. Now, I've made a wet bag before, but I've never made like a tote bag out of one of these. So that's what we're going to do today. Not only did I find that shower curtain liner, I found this enormous set of dish drying mats in black, and I got to thinking, I could be classy. I could make a black bag, like an all black bag, and be like a grown up, right? Wrong. I also found these really cute placemats and was like, oh, they would make great pockets. So as much as I wanted this to be an all black bag, I can't do it. I have to put bright colors. It can't be neutral. I had to get these placemats because it's just not in my blood to make something completely one color. But I also love the florals on them. And speaking of florals, I have been obsessed with my watercolor painting journey, and florals is what I've been focusing on lately. So maybe that's why I was led to this. My favorite place to go in the crafting community to learn something outside of my current knowledge base is Craftsy. Hands down. I love that website. I love their classes and all of the wonderful videos that they put up on there. You will find something different on that website every single day, and that is why I love it. It is constantly being updated. They're always adding like new trends on there that are happening in the crafting community, and it has been a wonderful resource in my watercolor painting journey. I recently took a class by Mia Whittemore. It was a class specifically talking about base colors when it comes to floral paintings. And that's something that I've really been struggling with. And her instruction on there was so helpful. I learned so much in her 20-minute class that I was able to go and translate that to my painting immediately. I feel like when people hear the name Craftsy, they're like, okay, sewing, knitting, but it's so much more than that. Crocheting, drawing, cooking. I learned how to make sourdough bread on there, photography and gardening and embroidery. Anything that it's craft-like that you might be interested in, you absolutely will find on Craftsy. Thank you so much to Craftsy for sponsoring this video today. I am so excited to share the good news of Craftsy with everyone who watches this video because I truly believe in this company. Good news. The first 1,000 people to click either the link in my description or this QR code will receive a full year of Craftsy Premium membership for $1.49. That's a bargain. This is valid for new members only, and I really think you should take them up on this offer. I use it all the time. I have absolutely gotten my $1.49 out of that membership. Again, thank you so much to Craftsy for sponsoring this video today. Now let's get to sewing. There's 2 mats in here and they are 18 inches by 24 inches. That's enormous. And they're only $7.99. So I'm going to use both of these. So we'll say $8. I will only be using maybe half of this, probably not even, but just for funsies, we'll call it $2. So $10. And then I got these placemats. These were $14.99, but you get 4 placemats. And I can use these other 2 to make really cute. Oh, what if I made a matching pouch to put inside the bag? Oh, bonus. I'm going to use 2 of those. So we'll call that $7.50. That means we're at I don't know, around $15 for this project. And then I got my trusty old nylon webbing from Amazon. I love this stuff. I buy it in all the colors, and it's always good to have a couple solids on hand. And this black 1.5 inch is awesome, and I think it'll be really good for this project. So let's get started on this crazy adventure of making a tote bag with a shower curtain liner. The first thing I want to do is lay out my dish drying mat, and we're going to figure out the pocket placement. So I've got a round placemat right now, and I need to kind of square up these sides because what we're going to do is attach the handles going all the way up. So I need to get rid of this, and then there will be a center place with the pocket. The best way to figure this out, in my opinion, is to find the center of your bag top, and then figure out where you want your handles to lay. So let's say on this size bag, I would say maybe 4 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4 inches away on either side would be a comfortable distance. We lay the placemat centered. Do I want that little part popping up? That's so cute. Or this way. I think I like that little part popping up. Yeah, that's sweet. I'm going to lay this back down, and that will tell me what to cut away. So make sure it's centered going straight down. And I'm going to get rid of this. Slide my ruler right here and make sure everything is straight. The purpose of this being that this strap will then cover up the raw edge that I'm cutting out of this placemat. So it's okay to have that raw edge there. So we'll cut that out. And then I'm just going to lay it on the other side. Make sure everything is good and centered. And 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. Perfect. I feel like if I just trace this little piece right here, that'll give me an accurate measurement. It doesn't have to be super scientific. Just sew with your feelings. Perfect. I'm going to just square this up. And we'll lose a little bit of the height of the pocket, but that's okay. That way, when I sew the seam in the bottom of the bag, it'll be uniform with the placemat and not broken up. What I'm going to do now is mock up where I want my webbing to be and how long I want my handles to be. Work my way up using my pins to hold my webbing in place so that when I go to sew it, it doesn't get any ripples or bubbles or lose its arrow straightness. I think the black webbing on this is going to look really sharp. And I probably could have gotten away with a black placemat, but I just can't do one color anything. I'm so bad at that. Know your strengths and your weaknesses, right? Now, you can either mock this up and hold it up to your like shoulder. You can pin it and then see how you feel. I do recommend doing that so you know that you're making the right size strap for your bag. Okay, let's see. That's perfect. Oh, look at that cute pop of color. That's going to be so pretty. Yeah, this is exactly the length I want it. Good guess, Chelsea. Cut that to the length and then measure out one more strap's worth. I'm going to pin this other side and then I'll show you how to sew the straps on. When I sew this, I don't want to sew my stitches all the way to the top because I want the bag handle to come down a little bit. You decide how far down you want that to go. I'm going to do 2 inches. So I'm going to put a pin right here. And I know that my top pin is going to be my turnaround point for my stitches, which I'll show you here in just a second. So make sure that you do that on both sides. And if you need to draw like a line to differentiate between the pins and the, where you're going to be turning around, that's fine too. All right, let's sew this on. I've got regular all-purpose polyester thread loaded in my machine, and I'm using a 9014 universal needle because this is a very thick mat. So I would suggest using a little bit of a heavier duty needle for this project. I'm going to set my stitch length at a 3.5, and I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of my webbing. Take your time on this step. You can complete this whole project with your regular zigzag foot, but I would say a walking foot, if you're comfortable using it, would be very helpful during the construction process for a bag like this. A walking foot helps you get through those fabrics, those thicker, more difficult fabrics with ease, which is nice. Now you may be wondering, like, why are we using a shower curtain to line this? Like, why wouldn't you just use quilting cotton? My thought process being, we are about to enter pool season, and I am constantly going back and forth to our local pool with 3 kids in tow and all of their wet swimsuits and their towels and whatever else they throw in there. And I want something that I can literally wipe out, and then you could just pull the lining up and let it air dry. Now, we'll tell you, because we're stitching through the lining, the shower curtain, it's going to be water resistant, but it's not going to be waterproof, obviously. I've seen some people do like glue, where you could like glue the lining together and make it completely waterproof. I haven't tried that. That sounds like fun. So maybe next time. When you reach that pin that we marked, I want you to pull it out, lift your presser foot, turn the work. Now I'm going to change the camera angle here so you can really see up close what I'm doing. I put my presser foot back down and I'm going to sew across the width of that webbing. Take your time on this step. When you get to that 1/8 inch mark, lift your presser foot, turn the work this way, and we're going to sew down 3 stitches onto that webbing. Oops, presser foot down. 1, 2, 3. Lift your presser foot again. Turn the work. What we're creating is a stabilized stitch so that when you put heavy things in this bag, wet towels and such, it won't rip out your webbing and your handles. Okay, so put your presser foot back down, sew across the width of your webbing. When you reach your stitch line on the other side, lift it, turn it, lower the presser foot, 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Lift the presser foot again. You're almost home free. Stick with me. You'll be glad you did this. Lower the presser foot back down and stitch across. When you reach your 1/8 mark, lift the presser foot one more time, turn the work back in, and now you're home free to sew all the way back down. Make sure that your placemat or whatever you're using for your pocket is nice and flat during this step. I love using this method for pockets because you can leave those 2 side edges raw because you're covering them up with this webbing. I love that. It's like a little secret. Finish up with a back stitch. And let's see how it turned out. I think that looks really good. You got your turnaround point up there, nice and secure. So repeat that on your other side here and then do this entire process on your opposite side, and I'll meet you back here and show you how to attach the lining. One quick little trick that I think is helpful for when you're matching the bottoms of your bag is check that your measurements are exactly the same and that these 2 webbing pieces match up, because that's what they're going to match up as on the bottom of the bag. That'll help add to the professionalism of your finish because these will automatically be matched up. Super duper. Look what we've got. It's really cute. We've got 2 of them, and I think that pop of color is just what this bag needed. So everything's good and attached. The next step is we're going to cut down that shower curtain lining to 2 pieces the same size as this piece right here. So I've tucked my handles into the pocket to keep them out of the way. I'm going to open up that shower curtain and lay it out, and I'll show you how to cut it. I love sewing with shower curtain liners because they're so big and you can get so many projects out of just one liner. And this one is really nice and thick. I have this doubled up just to make it faster to cut. I am not even using like an acrylic ruler or anything. I'm just flattening this out, cutting, and it cuts really easy. It's okay to cut it a little bit bigger if you're nervous. You can always cut fabric away. It just is a lot more work to add it back in if you have to do that. Err on the side of too big. Okay, liner has been cut. Now, as I was kind of thinking through this bag, get that out of here. Here's our 2 liners. Perfect. I think I might want to add a zipper to this bag. Now, you don't have to do this step. If you want to just lay the pretty sides together and sew them like this, that's fine. But I want to add a little zipper because it'd be nice to be able to close this bag when we're at the pool and kind of zip it up and hide our things. So let's pull my magic box of zipper out and see what we got. I kind of feel like black needs to be everything on this bag except the pocket. So I think I may use this fake metallic zipper that I have. I got this bag on Amazon. I'll post the link in the description if you're interested in getting some. But yeah, I think black is the way to go on this one. I'm going to cut the zipper 1 inch shorter than the length of the top of my bag. Okay. For this next step, I'm going to make a zipper tab. I'm just going to grab a scrap of black fabric that I have. Now all the thoughts are coming to me. While I'm here, I may also make, since I've got this fun, and this is all totally optional, this is just my brain working the way it does. I've got this nice long strip here. I think it's 4 inches, 5 inches, 4.5 inches wide. If I folded this up a little bit and made a loop out of it, I could put a D-ring on there and put it on the interior of the bag as a little place to hang my keys so that I don't lose them. That would actually be really helpful. So let's do that. Now let's do 4 inches by 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just make it easy. Make it a square. 4 inches. Great. There. That'll be perfect. Okay, so 4 inches, just fold it in as much as you can until you get it right, and then press this down, and then I'm going to top stitch both sides. I want to cut my zipper tabs. Now this part you will need to do if you are adding the zipper. So let's cut a 2 by 3 inch square and then cut that in half. So you have 2 by 2, 1.5 by 2 inch squares. So fold that side in and fold that side in, and then fold it down on itself. That's covering up all your raw edges. And then we'll attach it to the end here. But first we need to load the zipper pull. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So how about I save this for a few minutes and we'll do the zippers. We'll knock that out first. Grab your zipper pull. I like to open just about 1 inch worth of the bottom of my zipper and load it in, the pointy side going towards the zipper and your flat side being at the bottom. And I just ooch one side in and try and hold that in place while I ooch the other side in. Yes, ooch is a word. At least it is in my dictionary. Then I flatten it on the table and try and get it as lined up on the teeth as I can. And then zip it up. Go to this end, take your little flattened piece of zipper tab, lay it inside the zipper tab, and we're going to sew just a straight stitch right there. Perfect. See that? It's great. Move your zipper tab out of the way, or pull. I interchange those, and I need to be better about that because this is a zipper tab and that's a zipper pull. But I sometimes call that the zipper tab because it looks like a tab, like on a can that you pull. Don't mind me, just over here making everybody confused. All right, lay this in. Now this one's going to be a little trickier because the teeth aren't attached, but that's okay. You can clip it if you need to. Just do the best you can to get it as close together as possible. This is where your hands really are your biggest helper because you're going to be holding one side and kind of pushing it through with the other. Now our zipper pull won't fly off the end. See, got a stopper. All right, let's go back to that little piece for our D-ring. I've got it closed up, so I'm going to top stitch both sides. And this is entirely optional. You don't have to do this if you don't feel like you need a little key hook inside your bag. You can completely skip and disregard this part. I find that my keys are the thing that I'm always digging for while I'm trying to like hold my toddler's hand and keep track of my other children as we're walking in the parking lot, and it gets really stressful. So if I have a little spot to clip them to, that would be wonderful. For now, just do a little basting stitch right here just to close up that tab. Okay, that's perfect. Let's keep moving. Take your top of your bag and lay your zipper, lay this pretty side up and lay your zipper pretty side down so your pretty sides are touching. And if these handles get in your way, just push them down. Now look, this is not going to go the whole length of your bag, and it's not supposed to. We want 1/2 inch on either end so that we can easily turn this bag right side out when we're done sewing it. That was left there on purpose. The other reason I love doing this out of a dish mat for like a pool bag or a beach bag is whatever leaks through your water resistant shower curtain liner will get sopped up by this dish mat. It's like extra absorbent. Perfect combo in my world. Okay, we've got our 1/2 inch on either end. Now take your shower curtain liner, put the pretty side facing down. So we're making a zipper sandwich. And then just clip those right into where you clipped before. So you're not moving anything, you're just adding to it. I'm going to use my zipper foot. It looks like this. Take off your regular foot, load it onto the left bar of your zipper foot, and then center your needle. So it's going to go right into that divot of the zipper foot. Now, I'm not going to lie, sewing a shower curtain liner is a little tricky sometimes. Take your time, go slow. I'm going to line the side of my zipper foot up with the side of my raw edge here. And this is just every few inches I'm stopping and I'm checking that everything is still lined up properly. Finish sewing all the way to the end. Finish with a back stitch and I'll meet you back here. Okay, I just finished sewing that back stitch. Let's see what we've got. It looks good. Now, you can wait to top stitch this till the end if you want. And a lot of times with bags, I will wait till the end because I want this little matchup on the sides of my bag to be beautiful and perfect. But because this shower curtain material is a little strange, I'm going to go ahead and top stitch it now because it is really important to me that I make this as precise as possible and get this as far from my zipper teeth. See how it's like naturally wanting to flip up? I want it to stay down. Purpose being, this is very rippable if you get a zipper stuck into it. So I don't want that to rip. So I'm going to top stitch it now. I'm going to set my zipper foot aside, put my zigzag foot back on, make sure everything is nice and even. And I'm going to shoot for a 1/8 inch away from the top edge top stitch. But you do a 1/4 inch if that feels better to you. That's fine. As long as you're catching everything, it's all good. I'm going to stop every few inches and pull from the bottom to get that lining as far folded down as I can get it. I don't want it catching in my zipper. I'm going to finish up this top stitch and then I'm going to show you how to attach the other side. Look how nice that top stitch looks, and it's holding my liner far, far away from my zipper, which is perfect. It looks really nice from the front too. While I'm here, before I have all this other hullabaloo coming through on the bag, I'm going to flip it and I'm going to baste my little tab in on the lining side. That's why we made this 4 inches, because I think we'll probably lose about 1/2 inch of that. So I'm going to put it near the top, but not right at the top. Maybe 3 inches from the top, and just sew a little basting stitch right there to hold it in place. Take the front of your bag, make sure those handles are down and out of the way, and lay it pretty sides touching to your zipper. So shake it out, get those handles way far out of the way. Center it so that you have a 1/2 inch on either side, and go ahead and clip it again. Then take your lining pretty side down and just add it into your clips. If you're still with me, you guys, can I just tell you how proud I am of you? This is a tricky project, right? Like, we're sewing with a shower curtain liner. It's not the easiest thing to maneuver. So I'm really proud of you. Keep up the good work. Let's switch to the zipper foot and sew this side. As I said before, I made a small version of this last year for the pool. And I cannot tell you how helpful this thing was in getting our gear back and forth. And I have a family of 5. That thing wasn't even that big, and it fit all of our swimsuits. Now, it didn't fit our towels. I always carry them in a different bag. So I'm hoping this one will be big enough to carry everything. It's just nice to like have all of the wet clothing contained. This would also be a helpful project if you're a mom that's like potty training, and sometimes we have those accidents, and you know, we always keep grocery bags, or we did in our car, but if you want something a little more environmentally friendly, This is one that you could, Clorox out if you needed to and wipe out. Let it just pull the lining up to dry, and then you'll be good to go. Just don't forget about this in your trunk when you come back from the pool, because that would be a mildewy mess. I'm going to finish sewing this little strip. I will flip it then and top stitch it just like we did before, and then I'll meet you back here and show you how to box the corners. I'm not going to lie, this bag is chunky. She big. Yeah, that's a large tote. I can't believe they make these dish drying mats in this large size. I mean, I kind of want to go back and just get some for my house because it would take up my whole counter. That's amazing. Who has that many dishes? I probably do, honestly. Okay, let's box the corners. When boxing corners, the larger the square you cut out, the more squat your bag will be, but the more real estate you'll have in the bottom of the bag when you're stuffing things into it. So I'm going to use my little Omni Grid ruler. This is great for squaring things up. It's got everything marked right where you need it. I'm going to press down, and I'm cutting through both layers of my lining and my main. Now, if this stresses you out to use a rotary cutter like that, you can draw those on with chalk and just cut them with scissors. Let me show you one more time. So we'll go to this side. Make sure they're lined up right on top of each other. Go to your 3.5-inch mark. Press down nice and firm. Cut away. Now repeat that on the other side. We're down to our last few steps. I'm getting really excited to see this bag. So take your main 2 pieces and match them up. Pretty sides touching. Line up your webbing, which you did earlier, so it should line up nice and straight. Clip that together. Again, for a big dish mat project like this, remember to use your heavier duty needles because this is a lot to sew through, okay? So I need you to just be patient, take your time. We're going to clip around the whole perimeter except on this lining piece at the bottom. I want you to sew in 2 to 3 inches from each side, but leave the middle part open because that's where we're going to turn the bag. I'm going to start on the hardest seam, which will be this one because it's just so much fabric. And we'll see how we do. Let's see if this can be tackled on my regular sewing machine. I want to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, 2.5 stitch length. And I'm going to push this down as it's going under my presser foot because that'll help it feed through. Okay, remove your clips as you go. Straighten everything out every once in a while. You could even go up to like 116 denim needle for this if you feel the need. That's fine. You are asking a lot out of your machine in this project. So be nice to it. Give it a nice little brush out when you're done. Hug it, tell you love it. This machine is Trudy. I named her after my grandma. Do you guys name your machines? Am I crazy? She's Trudy. Now, because this was such thick fabric, I am going to just peek in there and make sure that everything kind of caught the way I wanted to. And yes, it looks good. So we're good to go. I'm going to sew the side seams now. Remember to go from thick to thin. Line everything up and do your 1/2 inch seam allowance. This is another time when you need to be the boss of your fabric. It does not get to be the boss of you. Other people in life may try and be the boss of you and you can't do anything about it. But when it comes to your sewing room, you are the boss. Isn't that just a glorious thought? Maybe that's why we like it so much, because we don't have control anywhere else in our lives, but we do in the sewing room. This is my favorite place to be. This is where I feel like my creativity can just soar and I can set it free to just, my mind can wander wherever I want it to. Did those colors work together? I don't know. Let's try it. Should I add a zipper to this? I have no idea. Let's give it a go and see what happens. It's a wonderful feeling. All right, we're sewing through that thick part where the lining meets the dish mat. Straighten everything out. Go very slow on this part. It's coming down off that mountain. Nice smooth transition. And we're on the lining. I'm going to finish sewing this part, the other side seam, and then 2 inches in on both of my lining pieces, and then I'll show you what to do next. We did it. We made it around the whole thing. Remember, you left your little opening right here, but all these other seams are nice and secure now. It's time to box our corners. Hooray! So the way to box a corner is to just see how it's in this little L shape right here. Open up those 2 pieces so that your seams match up and clip them in place. And you can either nest your seams or open the seam up just so you don't have all the seams on one side. That would be bad. Fold everything in, and we're going to sew a 1/2 inch stitch right here. And I'm going to close up all 4 corners the same way. Help push it through a little bit. Again, a walking foot would be wonderful for this project, but I like to sew assuming that you are beginner, and you may not be comfortable or even know what a walking foot is at this point, and that's fine. All right, we've closed up one corner. I'm going to repeat that on all my other corners. So this other one with the dish mat and then into the lining as well. Okay, it's like we've reached the cool down of the workout. I used to do these Richard Simmons Sweatin' to the Oldies videos with my sister. I was just sitting here thinking about when you got to the song, personality, personality, personality. Okay, anyway, I always knew when we reached that song, we were at the cool down. It was time to slow it down a little bit. And that's where we are in the sewing project. It's time to slow it down a little bit. We're almost to the end. Now, open your zipper. If you forgot to open it, it's fine. Just move it with your hand. It's not a big deal. I want you to take this real slow as you're turning the bag right side out. Just a little piece at a time. This is so cute. Aren't you so glad we lined up those webbing pieces? It makes all the difference when you're finishing up a bag. Not that people should be looking at the bottom side of your bag and like judging it. We all know how I feel about that. But it is nice when you can make it look nice and attached and thematic throughout the whole thing. All right. Push your corners out where you put your zipper tabs. Those should pop right out because you left a nice 1/2 inch space there. Now, before we go any further, we do need to pull this out, the lining, and just sew an edge stitch on the inside of the lining so that it closes it up. I'm going to clip this. Sometimes you can get away without clipping it, but this lining is ornery. I don't want to deal with you because I'm almost done. I'm in my personality song of my cool down, so I'm going to need you to cool down a little bit too. Lining of my bag. I'm going to put some clips here to just hold it in place while I edge stitch and sing personality to myself in my head. Did anyone else do that Sweatin' to the Oldies VHS in their basement? It's one of my happiest memories with my sister, and I have a lot of memories with my sister, but that one stands out because she was precious. She was 10 years older than me and very patient to let me do a Richard Simmons VHS tape in our basement with her. I love you, Gretchen. 2.5 stitch length, 1/8 of an inch, or as close as you can get it where you're not running off the side of the fabric, and just sew that hole shut. I absolutely love this bag and how it turned out. This is so perfect for the beach and for the pool this summer. It's water resistant. So remember, we did our shower curtain liner inside. Really unconventional item. Feels like the IKEA bags. It's like that kind of thickness. You could use an IKEA bag. I didn't even think about that. You could totally line one of these with an IKEA bag if you have one. It's got your little key holder right here, so you can clip your keys right to it. You won't lose them anymore. And then all of your wet stuff can go in here to get home and throw in the laundry. I can't think of a better use for a shower curtain liner. I'm really excited about this bag. Remember, this was just a quilted placemat that I found at Marshall's, and it's on both sides, so you've got nice big pockets for snacks or your pool passes or whatever you want to throw in there. The webbing matchup on the bottom could not have turned out better. I love the way that that looks aesthetically. It's so pretty. And I've got 2 more placemats, so I feel like maybe I should make some little bags to go with this. What do y'all think? Thank you so much for joining me today to make this very unconventional bag. I'm Chelsea with She Sews Seams. Make sure you like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of my upcoming content. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.